With Agile development process on a team, are there any specific roles that people need to play? What are the responsibilities of those roles? How do they interact with one another? And where do the boundaries get drawn on who's doing what? And at what times might there be some amount of overlap there? Welcome to Agile Team Foundations with Barry Hawkins. Please be sure to like and subscribe. This video series is based on training that I've delivered over the years, both as a game and product development leader building teams internally and as a consultant helping organizations establish or evolve their development process approach. In this episode, I'll cover the three primary roles that people play on a team using Agile development process. The first role that people play in an Agile development team is that of the cross-functional team member. And by cross-functional team member, I mean the people that it takes to do the work. These are all of the people from the different functional disciplines like engineering, QA, UX on video game teams, game design, concept art, environment art, you name it, there are many. And each of those people plays the role of cross-functional team member. Now, why is that called out as a role? As with all roles, this role exists because they have a specific part to play. So when it comes to what people are meant to be doing in each of the recurring events of their development cycle, in the ownership and curation of their team artifacts like the backlog, they are engaged and involved and have a say in all of those activities and artifacts that are being evolved and curated. A common question about cross-functional team members is which people actually are on the development team playing this role. The general guideline is people who are actually involved in identifying that work that's in the backlog, iterating on it, providing estimates on it, and then they have tasks that are being tasked out and planned in the development cycle, and they're in the daily stand-up every day reporting on their progress on the tasks they're working on. Those are the people who actually play this role. Supporting disciplines who work with this team and others but are not directly doing that work, they are not part of the cross-functional team members. So people from groups like live operations or release management, marketing, those sorts of disciplines who are close partners, but they're not involved in that development work, they tend to not be in the cross-functional team member role. The next role in a development team is that of the team steward. And the team steward has as their primary responsibility the stewarding of the health and effectiveness of the development team and its members. In a team that's using Scrum, this would be called the Scrum Master. If it was a video game development team, this is often the producer. In more traditional or mainstream software product development organizations, this could be someone called a technical program manager, or it could be an engineering manager. Development manager is another title, but people who typically perform the role of delivery management, managing the work system of the team, are the people who fill the team steward role. Now, a distinct characteristic of the team steward role in Agile development process is that this is someone who actually knows and understands and has exposure to the domain in which this team is working. So if it's a particular kind of software, this person understands how that type of software development is done. If it's mobile, for example, they understand how things get packaged and put into the app store for a given platform. Or if it's a game art team, they understand the asset pipelines for that team and the general phases that art tends to go through for that team. But someone who really understands the craft at some level on that team, as opposed to just a generic project manager who comes in with some templates and some very rigid frameworks and says to the team, fit yourself into this Play-Doh fun factory. Not that. The team steward understands that discipline, understands that craft, and they work with the team to ensure that the work system that's being used functions well for the work the team is doing. A final key characteristic of the team steward role is that they're doing this stewardship of the health and effectiveness of the team primarily through facilitating the team's development process. So it's in the course of ensuring that there's an effective cycle planning at the start of a cycle and effective daily stand-ups and backlog maintenance and grooming, good cycle reviews and retrospectives where everyone's engaged and really talking about team effectiveness. That is what the team steward's doing. They are making sure that that's all running well, functioning well, and that every team member is involved and engaged. And as difficulties or conflicts arise, they're often facilitating the conversation to take that conflict or disagreement to resolution for the team. The third key role for effective Agile development process is that of the product steward. And whereas a team steward is primarily responsible for stewarding the health and effectiveness of the team, the product steward is primarily responsible for stewarding the vision, backlog, and roadmap for the product or products that this team owns. This role is often filled in traditional product organizations or traditional product development by a product manager or a discipline like a product manager. In game development, this is often the primary creative lead for a given team. So it's usually like a game design lead or a game art lead, depending on what the team works on. But this person really is helping shape, and well, they are primarily shaping and driving. Where are we going? Like, what is the vision for this part of the product or this product, and where are we taking it? One unique characteristic of product stewardship in Agile teams is that this person, this product steward, they're not some auteur, going off on the mountainside and then coming down with a vision that they then hand to the team and say, "Go, my minions." Not at all. In fact, their key responsibility is to engage in stewarding that vision, is to engage the team to inform, decide, and direct the approach, timelines, and commitments and projections that we're making for what we're doing with the product. So, like, no roadmap presented by a product steward for a team should ever be a surprise for any member of that team, unless they were like out sick or on vacation and they're seeing it right when they get back. But apart from that rare exception, they should never be surprised by a roadmap that gets showed at a team meeting or an all hands, because they helped craft that roadmap together with the product steward. One way that I frame how a product steward is meant to approach their responsibilities is that they are storytellers whose primary source material is other people's input. And by other people, meaning the people on the team, as well as the people they're making it for, and the product research that they're doing, hopefully in partnership with a UX or product design group. A third crucial responsibility and part of the product steward's charter is to drive stakeholder alignment. This is one area where product stewards who really love and embrace their craft tend to shine, because as a team is working on their one or more products and juggling the competing priorities that the organization wants them to accomplish for that product, invariably we have to make trade-offs and we have to make shifts or pivots into what's being done and when. And the effective product steward is very proactive, one, at maintaining good relationships with all of their stakeholders and clear ongoing communication. And as priorities or sequencing of things shifts, they are on the ball and getting out there and making sure that all of their stakeholders know these are the changes that have happened. Here's a bit about why. And even if you don't agree with this particular priority shift, know that there have been times and there continue to be times when your priorities are also being, put ahead of this or that stakeholder. And we're all in this together. And this is where things are at right now. While each of these roles do tend to own their primary areas, there is a bit of overlap that happens, particularly between the team steward and the product steward. And that overlap and what it looks like, it tends to depend upon the unique pair of individuals filling the team steward and product steward roles. I've seen some situations in game development where the team steward might do more with the backlog and roadmap than they would outside of a game setting. And I've seen situations where the product steward, depending on how, if their corresponding team steward in traditional product development is an engineering manager who's also having to wear a lot of other hats as a functional discipline leader, then the product steward might do some more of the development process than they would normally do. But those are just the kinds of flexing and adaptation to the unique context of, two people on a team can play out. It's really up to the team, their context, and what those unique how those unique personalities tend to best partner and work together. I will say that I highly encourage product stewards in game development teams who are primarily creative leads like game design and art to actually take on the full responsibilities of the product steward role, owning and evolving product vision, but also backlog and roadmap, because in the course of owning and curating a backlog and a roadmap, creative leadership has to begin to learn some of the skills around aligning stakeholders, working through other people, working through a diverse group of other people like a cross-functional team. Beginning to build that communication and alignment building toolkit as an individual can be a great on-ramp to leadership and management in their creative field, because working through others and not primarily being a contributor is a key part of that progression path in a creative leadership career. And so getting started as a full-fledged product steward can be quite a nice on-ramp to that journey. There's much, much more that could be said about these roles, particularly that of the team steward and product steward and what their day and week looks like. So if you're interested in deep dives on more detail on those roles, please let me know in the comments below, and be sure to leave what questions you might have, and I'll look at adding those to the series. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and do the thing. So you don't, that's right, you do all three at the end. You just do like and subscribe. Back at it. Is that they of the team steward role too long. Owning, which such a good intro, but I forgot to advance the slide. Man, that was close, right? I thought it was, whatever. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notifications icon so that you'll be first to know when new Agile Team Foundations videos and other product development videos are uploaded. For the next episode in the Agile Team Foundations series, check out the video up here. And for the full Agile Team Foundations playlist, check that out right here. Again, I'm Barry Hawkins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.